We're here with Kevin Fisher, who currently is Ward 5 Councilman, City of Canton, but has aspirations to become a Stark County Commissioner.
That's true.
And you filed well before the filing deadline, as if memory serves me correctly, and been off and running ever since.
We have been very busy up through today. Largely myself and my wife. We've had some other help as well. We've been through Canal Fulton, Lawrence Township, Jackson Township, Hills and Dales, Lake Township, Uniontown, Hartville, North Canton, Plain Township, Canton Township. Spent all weekend in Perry Township, and I was doing Tuscarawas Township in the middle of the night. A lot of farms out there, a lot of newspaper boxes way at the end of the driveway. So we've been going all day, all night. If I'm not at work or I'm not here, that's what I'm doing.
What kind of reception are you getting?
It's been extremely positive. It's really it's remarkable to me how much the people that I've been talking to, at least, are engaged in knowing what's going on in the council race and or the commissioner race. Excuse me. Down here at council chambers, that slips my mind a little bit, but it's obviously not the top of the ticket, and most people are more aware of what is going on with the presidential race, and to a lesser degree the United States Senate race with Mr. Strickland and Mr. Portman. But there's a lot of engagement going on. At least the people that I've spoken to are aware of the race and the candidates, and trying to get a sense of how they vote.
What's your message when you're speaking with voters?
Well, my biggest focus has been on development. And Marty, from covering city council for years, that development is something I'm very passionate about. I think that any community that isn't growing is dying. 50 years ago, the city of Canton, when it undertook its last comprehensive plan, looked at, things are good today. We've got a large population base, good economy. We don't need to do much. We can put our feet up on the desk and just let the good times roll. And 50 years later now, as we're trying to adopt a updated comprehensive plan, you can see the pitfalls of that thinking. The commissioners have done a lot of good things, particularly over the last few years, and I think that this board of commissioners is to be commended for that. But one area that I think that they need to become more active in is development. And a good example of what I mean is, here in the city of Canton, we run our own development operation, obviously, as does Massillon. They have a new development officer, and the townships do their thing, the villages do their thing. And often the system what's created is where the different governmental entities are bidding against each other for the same companies, and you'll see Massillon and North Canton trying to take companies from each other and back and forth, or the city of Canton trying to lure somebody from Jackson or Plain or wherever the case may be. But when you look at the assets that we have as a whole, as a county, we have one of the state's biggest cities, several of the biggest townships. We're a leader in agriculture out where you live, Marty, out in Lake Township. I see quite a few farms out there. We're the #3 producer in vegetables and poultry, right? In the same county that boasts the Professional Football Hall of Fame, 5 major colleges, top-rated hospitals, 17 school districts. But the key is, not one of the communities in Stark County have all of these assets. We each take what we have and we battle against each other. But I think if we can get to a point where we can put all these together and try to grow as a county, that we can create the biggest, strongest, most diverse, and diverse is important, economy in the world. And the reason diverse is so important is diverse economies are nearly recession-proof economies. When you put all your eggs into one basket and that basket tips over, then you're on hard times. But if we can continue to grow in manufacturing, and commercial, we can continue to grow in agriculture. We have all these things going for us. Obviously, with the Hall of Fame Village, tourism is going to be an even bigger factor in our economy than it has been in the past.
But as along your theme there, wouldn't the Hall of Fame Village project be in the room?
In what way?
Well, the predominant economic stimulus for Stark County.
Certainly. We have to make sure, I think that the city of Canton, as well as the school district, as well as the county, involve the state as well. We have to dedicate ourselves to making sure that gets done. It gets done on time, and it's done correctly. And you see in Canton, one of my focuses over the last year we've gone on this road is that development is done with local labor, and that the hiring that is done is local. And that's important along any road that we go, that the growth is shared, not to just, you know, the owners or the developers, but, you know, the plumbers and the pipe fitters and the iron workers down the line. So yes, that's a huge component. But I'll give you just a couple of examples of how I think we can grow beyond that. You know, poor Fonda Williams, since the day that I've took office, I have had this guy on the phone with every company you can imagine. I read a lot of trade magazines. I work in the transportation industry. I hear a lot of the goings on. I learned, you know, GE was very unhappy with the governor and the legislature of Connecticut. I said, man, what a perfect place for you would be right here. You should locate right in the middle of Canton, Ohio. Let's go get them right now. The same thing with Boeing. Boeing, you know, had a dispute with the machinist in Washington, looking for a home to build the new generation of the 777X. Well, Canton is not probably the best place for Boeing to build, but Jackson Township would have been perfect, and, you know, with a buildable land right next to the interstate and right next to the regional airport, you have the ability of Canton lending its infrastructure. That would have been 10,000 jobs. And by the way, not 10,000 minimum wage jobs. Those are 10,000 high-paying jobs that contribute mightily to the tax base. And along with Boeing, of course, you add all the other jobs that go into servicing that, the construction jobs, restaurant, hotel, whatever the case may be.
So you've been busy trying to drum up for Canton, and of course you'll envision doing the same thing on a countywide basis.
I will. I think that we have everything you could ask for right here. Now, you may want to locate in an urban area. You may want to need a large degree of buildable land, which Canton doesn't, you know, have a great deal of. You may want to be near an airport. You may want to be near the interstate. We have all of these, and we have a very low cost of living. A house that sells for $300,000 in Stark County goes for over $1 million out in California. So, you know, even the big executives, you know, they can come in and make that big executive bonus stretch farther here. We have everything we need to offer to grow that economy, and I'm absolutely singularly focused on making that happen countywide and regionally.
Wanting to bring the cities, the villages, the townships together.
And the chambers of commerce. I mean, I was at a Chamber of Commerce dinner out in Louisville recently. Obviously, I work closely with the Chamber of Commerce here in Canton, but, you know, also the Jackson, Belton, and others as you go through the county. We have not just our governmental entities divided, you know, all going after, you know, the same employers often, the same new businesses, but we have multiple chambers of commerce, and you've seen the chambers now have begun working together, and that's, you know, happened somewhat recently, where they've begun to collaborate efforts. And I'd like to bring them, along with, you know, our trades and our union representatives together. The fact is that separately we all have something to offer, but collectively we have absolutely anything, any company, any family looking to locate, we have it right here. And there is no reason why we can't, over the next 4, 8, 12 years, 20 years, 50 years, why we can't grow to have this be the economy that is the envy of every other community in America. And I absolutely believe that.
You put some emphasis on a new generation of leadership in your candidacy.
Yes.
You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Certainly. This is something, and this is not to disparage in any way the people who have come before me, but, you know, in any walk of life, in any business, you know, obviously you become comfortable in what you're doing. This is the way we've always done development. This is the way we've always run a building department. This is the way we've always run the commissioner's office, whatever, the city of Canton, whatever the case may be. And there's, you know, with that can often grow complacency, and you miss opportunities for ways you can become more efficient. And I've talked about that here in the city of Canton. We've made some changes in technology, and obviously you've seen with ShotSpotter, and you've seen with SeeClickFix and others that we've come in. But there are ways, in the year 2016, it is simply no longer necessary that someone should have to take a day off of work to come to downtown Canton in order to apply for in person with a piece of paper in order to reshingle a roof. Okay, I mean, has anyone ever been denied a permit to put new shingles on the roof as long as the check was made out correctly and they signed the form in the right place? These are things that should be able to be done electronically if someone chooses. And that not only, you know...
And that takes a new generation type person?
Well, I think what it takes is someone who's willing to look and question how we've always done things. Are there more efficient ways that we can do the same things? And like I said, not only does that provide better service, and not only is that a better watchdog for the tax dollar, which is very important even though they have a significant carry forward right now in the county, it's very important that that's protected. But not only does it do those things, those also make you more competitive with growth and development. Because, you know, while people pay a lot of attention to tax breaks that are given out, or abatements or loans or grants that are given to companies to bring them to a community, one of the most important sides of this is companies don't want to locate in places where it may take them 3 weeks to do something that elsewhere they could get done in a day or even hours.
So, but your theme is it takes a younger person with a different perspective to get out of the old ways of thinking and proceeding. Is that, do I have that right?
I have some gray hairs coming in up there, Marty, and this campaign is bringing in even more. I'm not going to necessarily call myself young. I'm, you know, certainly younger than the other people that are in the race. But I think what I am getting at is not necessarily of age, but I was talking about bringing in a new perspective, a different way of looking at how government operates, and not simply assuming that because we have always done it type A, that going plan B or C or D doesn't make us more efficient, doesn't protect the tax dollar better, and doesn't make us more competitive to bringing in business. And I think that new perspective, and I know you've covered Canton City Council over the past few years, I think some of what, as you've coined the Turks, the four of us have come in and have
You were
simply
one of the
asked
four
questions.
young Turks of the Stark County Political Report.
Yeah, Marty, you called it first, and people still refer to me sometimes as a Turk, which is nice. I like it. But those are things, you know, it wasn't that anything that we did per se was a great idea that had never been done before. But what we were willing to look at was, hey, this is how the city of Canton has operated, you know, in foreclosures, for example. We amended the foreclosure ordinance tonight. Are there communities that are doing this better? Can we be more efficient? Can we get better at what we do? If we are better on Tuesday than we were on Monday, then it was a good day. And I think that that should always be the approach we take, whether it's in government, whether it's in business, or whether it's in our personal lives.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kevin Fisher, candidate, Stark County Commissioner, Democrat, 3 other Democrats in the race. So an exciting night on March 15th.
I look forward to it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Marty.